the first tip or piece of information to you is that your guests should know that this is a large property.
Yes.
If they love walking, if they like fitness walking, if they like jogging, they will love this property.
Even running. There are a lot of runners on the
property. A lot of runners. If they want everything at their fingertips, they like things like really confined, this probably isn't going to be their jam. Okay. So that is our first little tidbit of information, because literally just getting back and forth to our room, any restaurants, any restrooms, it was, the lobby, everything. It was a process. Now they do have bikes.
Property, that was very neat.
Which is really fun that you can tool around in. But I would say they're not necessarily bikes where you would, get like a fitness out of it. But they're just fun to ride around and enjoy the property and see everything. So yes, I took this picture with my iPhone.
It's amazing. I think it looks amazing.
And
I was there. I think it looks better in the picture.
So right here at the front, we've got, this is like a hot tub right up in the front behind these bushes here. And then you've got the huge Olympic pool. And then beyond that is the lobby. But as you can see, this property in general, like you are just surrounded by the mountains. It's like tucked within this own secluded paradise. You're
like in a valley of mountains. Yeah.
Absolutely stunning. And before I go a little bit more in depth, I want to give you guys a few tips that you as travel professionals need to know so that you can best advise your clients who you are potentially selling Sandals St. Vincent to. So first things first, the island of St. Vincent does not have a lot of airlift. Right. This is not like Cancun, where if you miss your 6 o'clock flight, there's going to be an 8 a.m. flight, and then there's going to be a 10 a.m. flight. And then this is like one flight a day. Right. If you miss it, if you miss your connection, if there's a mechanical issue, if there's a delay of any kind, if there's weather, you're not traveling until the next day. Along with that, when you really think about it, these are the like little kind of more than surface level pieces of information.
Right.
When you think about the fact that there's potentially just one flight a day to a destination, and delays could happen, people could miss flights, miss connections, those types of things. Travel insurance, highly, highly recommend something that has a really good travel delay coverage plan.
Yeah, for sure.
Something that isn't just, it's not going to kick in until you're literally delayed for a full 24 hours. But also, we were able to call, because I booked my flights through Classic Vacations because I had my points that I earned my Royalty Rewards flights. So I called them to help with flights and rescheduling so that we would still get our full time there. And then we called Sandals and asked them to extend our stay, and they did that. But obviously, when you have travel insurance, then your clients have a much better chance of recouping any expenses that occur, or because food and all of that kind of stuff. Like the airline gave us a $12 voucher.
Can you believe
per person
for lunch?
$12. We were grounded. We were there for 8 hours.
It was ridiculous.
That barely covers a bottle of water per person. Right. My next little tidbit before we get into our review for you guys to know is that because the travel time is so lengthy, the flights get in late. It's an hour drive from the airport to the resort. Literally, your first full day is shot. You're not there. It's pretty much done. You're getting there, and it's time to eat dinner. Do you know what by the time you check in, because the check-in process, I just need to have a little, my own little preachy thing about how check-in processes at any resort go. But it's the same thing, right? Like I did the online check-in. You already have my credit card information. You have I did all of that. Like, why is it taking so long to check in? Then you're waiting for your bags, right? Because they're delivering everybody's bags. You don't have your luggage. You can't do anything. You're in your travel clothes, yada, yada, yada. Your first day is literally shot. So if somebody wants to stay a full week on a honeymoon, please, I highly encourage you to have them stay 8 nights. Right. I know it adds a lot to the bottom line. The next little tip is at the resort, like I said, it is an hour from the airport, but this is not smooth.
Boy. Let me take it from here. All right, you guys. So when we went to St. Lucia, I unfortunately currently struggle with motion sickness on a boat in a car, nowhere, whatever. When we were in St. Lucia, I didn't have any sickness that I can remember getting to the resort. Maybe you remember if I did. I don't remember it being that bad, but when we went on our excursion going to the Tetons.
Tetons.
Oops.
He calls it the Tetons every time.
The Tetons.
And that is why he's not the travel professional.
Yeah, that's why I do marketing. I just got to get the right name in that too. But that is, unfortunately, I got very nauseous, very car sick on the way there to the Tetons and on the way back. Well, Sandals St. Vincent was probably even 5 times more intensely twisty, twirly, uppy, downy, stop and go-y. And I was, not only was I feeling nauseous, the girl next to me had her head down.
We're talking blind corners. We're talking the road is for 2 cars, but it's really just a lane for 1 car. Like it's an adventure
Our drivers were good. I
have my camera out like the whole time. I'm like, and Lou's like, oh, and I'm like, you know.
Yeah. So Tammy doesn't have motion sickness issues.
I do not.
She's a roller coaster person too.
But guys, tell your clients, like, they need to know, because you know, he was not feeling well for a while after we
it took a while to
you know what I'm saying? Like, these are the tips that people come to an expert for. Again, when you arrive, I love the lobby is beautiful. It's very welcoming. It's luxurious. They have this cute little song that they sing to welcome you and all of that. But it's one where you can see directly through, and you can see their beautiful pool, and you can see the ocean.
Guys, this resort has a 4 seasons appeal when it comes to the style and the architecture.
So this is the chapel.
If they have an Overwater chapel and the bungalows there.
Okay, so
Tammy,
to the left of this video, we have a private beach that's just for the Overwater villas, and then you go to the right, which I am right now, you'll see a couple of infinity pools, and then of course the beach. Okay, so it is more of that coved beach. The sand is white because it's imported. Of course, this is a volcanic island,
and you'll see the volcanic sand by the water.
But you can see it's just very majestic.
Not a huge beach. If you're a beach person, Sandals St. Vincent has a beach that can get the job done, but it's not it's not like Sandals Negril or Bahamas at all.
Okay, so here's a picture of the beach. It's a little bit of it's harder sand. It's not, but you can see in the water, you can tell that it's really not a white sand. So the reality is that this is not necessarily a beach lover's paradise. This is for people who want this beautiful terrain, something unique, something secluded.
A Costa Rica type feel, a Hawaii type vibe. Like I said, this reminded us of the Maui's 4 Seasons Maui, the way it was kind of set in with the mountains and the terrain around it. It's got that type of physical appeal.
Right. First thing I want you to know about the beach is that it's imported white sand. It's a little bit on the harder side. You can get in the water and swim. People were in the water and swim. They do have water sports available, and they're right on site because the water is calm. There was a conversation that I overheard about it from a couple, and they were specifically asking, where is the best sandals for a beach lover? In other words, they were not happy with this. Now, if you go to the Sandals media or the Sandals site and you look at the overview picture of this resort, you know, the bird's eye view out from the ocean, you know, overlooking the whole thing, it literally looks like perfect white sand beach, crystal clear blue water. And I would say that the sand is white because it's imported, but the water was not that
really aqua. It's not Bahamas, Turks and Caicos water.
It's more,
not even Negril water.
It's more like if you've seen like the water at Regency La Toc in St. Lucia. It's more like that color.
It's more like this has a real big, very big St. Lucia vibe.
When it comes to pool areas, they have several different pool areas. They've got the 2 different infinity pools. And those are of course right by the ocean. So absolutely beautiful views. And those pools are really close to like eateries, the coffee shop, restroom, that sort of thing. But they're not a lot of space. to hang out. Not a ton of chairs and all of that. Look, let me show you this picture that I just found that I did upload of the beach. So you can see there, it kind of ends with some rocks. There is some natural coral, but you can just see by the coloration, it's not what they portray on the online. This was our favorite. So this is the big Olympic-sized pool. This is the pool bar. And they're lining this pool on both sides.
Both sides. And we never had trouble getting one. Right. A lot of times people would head to the beach first. So if you got out there in the morning, now they tried to reserve the butler. So what's interesting is they don't have anything reserved for butlers. When you're there and you have a butler room, then the butler would reserve one. But by 11 a.m., whatever isn't taken, it was free for the taking, and we never had trouble every day. Yeah.
These are, kind of the newer buildings on the property, and the top 3 floors are the luxury level rooms, and then the bottom floor is club level swim up. So very spacious, but I noticed that everybody, when they were sitting on their chairs, on their pool chairs, they always had to have the floaty thing on there because they were hard and not comfortable. We were on the 2nd floor, right above one of these rooms, and see how they have these waterfalls. And like even in the evening time, it just sounded so nice just to listen to the sound of the water coming out, and the lighting and everything was really, really pretty. Right. And then they have this kind of tucked away back near like the fitness center and the spa. Away from it all, they have their heart-shaped pool.
Yes.
And that one does not have a bar nearby or anything.
It's more your secluded pool.
But it's definitely, I would call that the quiet pool.
Quiet pool. Me too.
Okay. Yeah. Because even the one that we were at, the Olympic-sized pool, like they always had music playing, but in the afternoon they'd have a DJ out there. Yeah. They had game time. They would start, then they'd get the pool volleyball net out around 3 or something like that, and get a game going for that.
I loved that whole area, and I have to recommend everyone get the frozen mojito.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'd never had one of those before, and the bartender it was our last day we discovered this. Frozen mojito was one of the best drinks.
It was so good. It was so good. Dining experience. This is the one area besides service that Lou and I felt like was hit or miss.
Yes. So remember how we said Sandals St. Vincent looks like a Four Seasons? It does, and that's where the comparisons end. So anyway.
But you have to remember, we view everything from a lens of we've traveled a lot.
I agree.
All over the world.
Yes.
And we have stayed at the real
Four Seasons
luxury type places before, right? And luxury has different levels, and luxury has different definitions, I guess you could say. So this was where we were like, okay, sometimes this wasn't the greatest. I would say it wasn't ever like absolutely despicable, horrible. One thing I didn't like was I felt like the buffet, because usually for breakfast, buffet is going to be the way to go. And then even for lunch, sometimes it's like you don't always want to have this long, drawn out
lunch experience. You just want to get in and get out.
You just want to grab some food. You want to keep going on with your day.
Right.
But I felt like the buffet in any situation was just lacking. It was very
limited,
small,
incredibly limited for this big a resort.
Because there's 301 rooms at this property. It was supposedly at capacity, which we never felt that way. But the food at Butch's was great. We also had a really great meal. It's called Family Style at Buchan. So Buchan and Butch's are the two that require the reservations. Yeah. And highly recommend both of those. And so you want to tell your guests to get those booked right away. And so obviously if your guests do not have a butler, they need to go to the Cove, it's called, for the culinary concierge, and get that scheduled ASAP. You always have to view when you go on these trips, on these site inspections, whatever, view it from a lens of I've spent thousands of dollars of my own hard-earned money to come here.
And here, now, especially thousands of dollars. See, this is one of the more expensive ones, right?
Yeah. Now, how do I view this situation, how this was handled, this customer service, this food? Right. So we had one dining night at the Italian restaurant where we were told it'd be 15 minutes. We waited an hour and a half. We ate dinner at like 9:30 p.m. We got there at like 7:30. By the time we got in, it was like 9. By the time we started eating, it was 9:30. And again, we understand that these things can happen, but if I spent $10,000 to come on this vacation and had to wait that long to eat, and to know at that point, like, you don't have any options to dine anywhere else. You can't go to some other restaurant and hope to get in, because the restaurants start closing their doors at 9:30. Their last seating is like 9 p.m. sometimes. So just little things like that. Let me show you first our room.
All right. Yeah. Oh, guys, I will say this is probably the second nicest Sandals room we'd ever stayed in. I mean, for a luxury,
we were in the lowest room category.
Right. And this is their lowest room category. And we were knocked off our socks by what this room had and what it looked like.
You have an ironing board. You have a robe and slippers. You've got a beverage center with red wine, some rum. Of course, the Chardonnay was in the fridge. There's a mini fridge with juices and Coke and that type of thing. Double sink, double vanity, huge walk-in shower, rain shower, and 2 other shower heads. Huge tub there.
Shower so big I didn't know Tammy was in there.
Nice big full-length mirror for you for when you're getting ready. Of course, a TV, really spacious, big.
Lots of dresser space, tons of
and then a really beautiful extension to your room with the outdoor space.
This was like a little 3 Seasons room almost. It was unbelievably.
And the soaking tub was absolutely beautiful. And then, of course, like I said, we're right over top of the swim out or the swim up rooms.
So you can see why I violated everyone's privacy.
That we didn't like about our room, we didn't feel like there was the best opportunity for like mood lighting, where it was either just like the lights were on blaring,
all of them,
or you know what I'm saying. And then also there wasn't a place for us to really dine in our room comfortably.
Honestly, room service wasn't great either.
But then there were just nowhere to really sit and dine, right? So, and I feel like the room itself had plenty of space for that, where they had just a small bistro table and 2 chairs. It definitely had space for that. So those would be our only complaints about our room, but otherwise
the room was great. Yeah, it really was
really nice. And I was very impressed and wowed, and I felt like the view was phenomenal. A little bit of an ocean view, but just the surroundings and it just absolutely. They've got all these villas all around. So
they're butler cottages.
They're just kind of tucked all around, and all these fun little paths to walk and ride your bike. But they've got these butler villas, and we were able to see one of these. And there are some beachfront villas as well that have a pool. And then, of course, they have the Overwater. So we were able to see one of these garden bungalow, I think they call it, villa.
Right. The sales team took us around.
And then we saw one of the Overwater villas. You can just see the property anyway this way.
There you go. So here's a photo run through of Sandals St. Vincent.
All right. So here's one of these villas, but with the pool.
On the back side.
So this is going to be directly facing the ocean, the beach.
Right.
All right. So they've got their little covered, a little bit semi-covered area. And then, of course, you can see they have some curtains, a soaking tub back there. And then they've got their little private plunge pool. Right. Here is in the garden villa. This would be, they basically kind of have a wall that they've tried to beautify a little bit as the view. But this space out here is really, really nice. So they have a couple of different entrances. So I'm standing in this really huge bathroom area, and then you can look out. You've got the soaking tub back here, a couple of chase lounges, a table and chairs. So this to the left here is this giant bathroom space. Okay. So you walk into this bathroom, to the right, there's a huge mirror. And then of course you have your double vanity. And then over here is the shower, regular shower. But this over here has a soaking tub, but it's also this like huge open space that's like a shower as well. So here you've got 2, let me see if I can So here's a different view of it.
There you go.
2 shower heads. Here you got these rain shower heads.
And then windows
and
will
then
open.
the window. So it's kind of like you're showering outdoors.
Right.
So here's a huge mirror that they have. There's also a soaking tub out on the back patio.
Yeah.
I liked the layout. Here's the regular shower. I liked the layout of this villa. So
I did too.
Here's the kind of the bedroom space with another table and chairs. And then back here, this door is their media room. So you have a media room. So of course this is butler level. So, you know, your clients can watch the game, have their butler bring them some drinks, some nachos,
right,
whatever they want, you know, to drink so they can just enjoy the game. And yeah, here's a better view. I took images of all directions. And this is the butler pantry. So the butler can go through a separate door and enter just into this butler pantry space.
Right. It's a huge area, like a kitchen.
So then the rest of they don't have access to anything else. The other doors are shut. Nobody sees them and that sort of thing. So they can come in here, make some drinks up and whatever, and prepare things that the couple wants. And we're in an Overwater villa. This is a 2-story. So it looks like there's only 5, but there's 10 units. So they're like duplexes.
Yeah.
And they're all 2-story. Oh, here's your bed area. Behind that is like a lot of closet space behind the bed. So here's a view of the bedroom from outside. And then this is the upper level. They've got their own telescope for viewing. There's a view of the other villas right next door. Yeah. So you can see a little bit of the layout. So you got the upstairs.
Yeah.
Where you've got that day bed type thing, and then the downstairs with the chase lounges, and then access to the water. But if you're part of our Academy Pro membership, we are going to be uploading this into our honeymoon vault.
In the Academy Pro.
So once we get this edited, we'll upload it. But when you're in there, you can ask questions and we'll get notification of those. So
thank you guys, everyone, for all of you coming. Sorry this was so long, but I hope it was worth it.
Yes.
And this will be put in the Academy Pro and the honeymoon vault. So all right, guys, God bless.
God bless you.